Hello, welcome to the third revision video for RS this year. It's not really the third one, there's loads of old cartoon ones that are still worth watching and have had loads of views, but these ones are like kind of like the new ones that show you how to do full exam questions. Probably a bit less interesting than the cartoons because they were pretty funny, but oh well, probably more helpful. These ones are probably the better ones. Definitely watch these ones. Right. Anyway, this one I haven't done one for ages. Really sorry. Just been busy and stuff. But finally got inspired today by Miss Gurney to do another video because she actually sat and did a Matters of Life question from a Unit 3 exam just to show her lovely Year 11 group how it was done. And so this is a Unit 3 exam paper. Just a reminder there in brackets that the exam is on the 18th of May and it takes 1 hour 30 minutes and you've got to do 4 questions. So this is the 2014 paper that Miss chose to answer a question on, and I've taken these pictures on my phone just to sort of show you a few bits and how she's attempted to do the question. So this is the exam paper view that you have. Once you decide on a question, you've got to answer all the parts of that question. So just do exactly what it says and just follow the instructions carefully. Remember to write the numbers in the little squares in the margins. Question 1 says religious attitudes to matters of life, medical ethics. So it's all that topic about cloning, genetic engineering, fertility treatments, embryo research, stem cells, all sorts of interesting stuff like that, sciencey sort of stuff. And the whole point of the topic really is whether we should, as human beings, meddle in those areas or should we just leave it up to nature, and if we should meddle, to what extent should we do that. So the first question usually is like a sort of low value question really, just to start you off on onto a sort of good start really, but don't worry if you get it wrong because it's only worth 1 mark. It doesn't really matter, don't let it discourage you. Before you even answer the questions, it always says look at a photograph or look at the picture below or something, and this is called a stimulus. It's just to get you thinking about the topic. So what more fitting a picture than to get you thinking about medical ethics than a little grinning child who's got quite a big head actually. He's got like the face of a 40-year-old TV presenter, but looks really chirpy and just, yeah, it's eerie. I don't like it. I don't like that picture. But don't let that put you off not doing that question, because this actually, looking at these questions, is quite a good one to do. So anyway, what I'm going to do is talk to you about each question, and then we'll see what Miss Gurney wrote for her answer, and we'll mark it as well. She got me to mark it, so we'll see how many points out of 18 she managed to get. So anyway, the first question is, what do the initials IVF mean? And it's worth 1 mark, so you just need to write what IVF means. And the answer is in vitro fertilization. You don't have to write a whole sentence like IVF are the initials that mean in vitro fertilization. This means, and go on to explain what it means. It doesn't say that, it just says what do the initials mean. So just say in vitro fertilization, 1 mark, and then move on. Don't waste your time writing more than that. Anyway, question 2, moving on, is explain religious attitudes to surrogacy. Refer to religious beliefs and teachings in your answer. And this one's worth 5 marks. So you need to explain, 2 or 3 religious beliefs and teachings that outline the religious attitudes to surrogacy as a thing. So hopefully check before you do a question like this, that the big value question, the 5 mark one, apart from the 6 mark one as well, check that you actually can do these ones because they're quite important. If you don't get any marks on this, it's a bit of a silly move to do this question. So check that you know what surrogacy actually is before you start to do this question. So let's see what Miss put. She actually defines surrogacy in the first line. You don't need to do that, but doesn't hurt to just, you know, say what it is. It might get you thinking about it. So anyway, surrogacy involves another woman carrying a baby for the parents. It may also include IVF or artificial insemination, but doesn't necessarily. In Islam, motherhood is regarded as an ideal, and the child's mother is regarded as the woman who gives birth to them. So consequently, surrogacy is not viewed positively. While reproduction is viewed positively in Christianity, the use of surrogacy can be seen as problematic because it is conducted outside of marriage and can be regarded as unnatural and as interfering with God's will. However, Protestant Christians in particular may see it as a loving act which helps others and so is in keeping with Jesus' teaching to love your neighbour. So you can see there, to explain the religious attitudes, that there's quite a few religious teachings in there really. This idea about motherhood being regarded as an ideal for Islam, reproduction being positive in Christianity, but also this thing about going against God's will. Then there's another religious teaching that it's a loving act and Jesus said you should love your neighbour. So there's 3 religious teachings in there and they're all explained as well. So that's easily enough to get 5 marks on a question like that. So we're on 100% so far, 6 out of 6. Awesome. Right, the next question is one of those opinion ones, and it says religious believers should not be against transplant surgery. It's a bit of a double negative there because it should not be against, so it's basically saying religious believers should be for transplant surgery. They should think it's a good thing to transplant organs and stick them in people to help them live. And then it says, what do you think? Explain your opinion. So what do you think about that? You definitely know the answer to this because the answer's in your own head because it's your opinion. So should religious believers be for transplant surgery? Should they think it's good or not? Just what do you think about that? Let's see what Miss thinks about that. She says, transplant surgery can save or dramatically improve the quality of lives. All religions believe that helping others and preventing life are important ethical principles, and that life is sacred. Both Christians and Muslims would regard life as a gift from God or Allah. Although Roman Catholic Christians and Muslims have a strong tradition of ensuring the body is intact at burial, the principle and imperative to save lives overrides this, and so transplanting organs and donation should be accepted. Allah should recognise that humane intentions of the individual, and transplants should be supported as a consequence. So there's probably more than you need to say there to get 3 marks, but it's always handy to put some extra bits in just to make sure that you get all the marks. But there's definitely at least 3 good ideas there about why religious people might be against or for transplant surgery. So again, 100% so far. Let's see what the next question is. Explain why some religious believers disagree with experiments on humans. So again, it's this idea about religious believers. Why do they disagree with testing on humans? What's wrong with testing on humans? What are some religious views on that? And it's only worth 3 marks, so just say 3 things or a couple of things and develop your points. So this one says, some religious believers may disagree with experiments on humans because they believe that the human body should always be respected and that any actions which could harm the body should be avoided. Humans have been placed at the top of God's creation and our lives are part of God's plan. Consequently, any attempt to interfere with human life should be seen as playing God. Furthermore, going on to the other page, experiments have been known to go wrong and result in serious injury for the test subjects. I bet Miss was thinking about that horrible experiment that went wrong and all the people's hands turned all black and their fingers fell off and stuff. Probably thinking about that. But anyway, the question, going back to it, was explain why some religious believers disagree with experiments on humans. And you can see there 3 clear reasons why they disagree. Ideas about creation and the fact that we're messing around with God's plan. and then developing that by saying that we're playing God and we shouldn't. And then up here, this idea of respecting the human body because it's a gift from God, and so it should be avoided. So again, easily enough to get 3 points to answer that question about what religious people, why they don't agree with testing on human beings. Right, the last question now, and it's one of those opinion ones again, and it says all types of cloning should be allowed. So that whoever said that just loves cloning. They say, yeah, definitely all types of cloning should be allowed. We should just clone everything. So clone humans, clone animals, clone food. Don't know what other stuff we might clone, but whatever it is, just clone it, because all types of cloning should be allowed. So it's asking you, do you agree with that? Give reasons for your answer. Show that you thought about more than one point of view, and refer to religious arguments in your answer. So remember, if I've talked to you about this before, you'll have heard me rambling on that what you should do, I think, is always agree with that at the first bit. Always say, yeah, I agree, all types of cloning should be allowed, and say some reasons why it should be, and then put some religious teachings in if you can. And then halfway through your answer, when you've run out of ideas and you've got a couple down, just say, however, other people think that it shouldn't be allowed, and then just say why some types of cloning might not be allowed. And you should be able to get 6 marks on that, because it's not exactly rocket science. Should we clone stuff or not? It's basically what you've got to decide. And hopefully you could all think of something to say about that. Should we clone stuff? Should we allow it? Right? So let's see what the answer is here. So it starts off by loving cloning. Cloning can be beneficial, particularly when this has therapeutic purpose. Some religious believers may support cloning where it enables treatment of others, as they may see this as a loving act following the teaching and example of Jesus, and using our God-given knowledge to improve the quality of life for other humans. So there's loads of stuff there about why cloning is a great thing, with religious teachings in as well. Excellent. Then you start the other side. However, I think that reproductive cloning, I can't read that word. I'm rubbish at reading handwriting. There's nothing wrong with the writing. What word is that? Reproductive cloning raises many ethical concerns. It could be abused to create products for the use of the rich and could devalue human life. I know that reproduction of humans is regarded highly and that the furtherance of scientific knowledge is a goal, but the widespread use of cloning could destabilise society. It could be costly and lead to the contravention of human rights, which I believe overrides the imperative to reproduce. So again, lots of points on both sides there, and it's quite a well-structured argument with religious views in, easily enough to get 6. So just remember that as an examiner, I love it when students write like this, because it's really easy for me to decide what side they're arguing. So they're saying, yep, cloning is good, some reasons, however it's bad because some other reasons. Then it says another reason why it's good, because it furthers scientific knowledge, but then another side they're saying why it's bad again, because it might devalue human rights. So as an examiner, I'm just looking through there going, yep, there's loads for, there's loads against, there's some religious teachings, I'm going to give that 6 marks. Don't have to think about it too much to give those marks, which is brilliant. So add up the marks in your head, what you think that deserves. Well, basically it's got all the marks, hasn't it? So 18 out of 18, 100%, which is a big smiley face because that's an A star. You can't get any better than that. So fantastic, that is awesome. So hopefully that will help you to revise. We'll do some more videos as well to help you to revise. Hope you have started to revise. If you're sitting there thinking, no I haven't, this is the first thing I've done, just watch this video, well, at least that's good, because at least you've started to watch this. But do some more revision. Come on, the exam's coming up soon, sort it out, revise. I'm going to go now, bye.